Hey everyone, I'm going to do a video of a gas power welder I picked up 2 days ago. It's on Craigslist. The guy said ran found one put away and not used in 4 years. So I wrote on it, does it still run now, and does it make power? And he wrote back, oh yeah, it just needs the carb cleaned from sitting, but it does run, and I had it running for about an hour and ran the old gas out of it. And he had it on there for $400. Great, you know, you can't even get a good generator for $400, and these things put out like 7K, I think. This is I'd say it's a 70s Lincoln Welding Power AC/DC welder. So lo and behold, I went there and brought my welding helmet and my piece of metal and some rods to go and try it. And the guy was running around all day. Kind of met him at his house. It was in dark. He had the thing outside. Kind of a well-to-do guy, and it seemed like he really cared all that much about it. He's just running a business. And we went to go try and start it, and it just went clunk, clunk. So he tried a couple times. I said, look, the motor's, it's locked right up. We'd rock it back and forth, it'd free up, and it will lock up again. Once you get it free, you could spin it around by hand. But as soon as you try to engage the starter would just lock right up. So obviously you see that I have it. I said to the guy, I said, look, it's worth $200 to me. If you don't want that, I'm just not interested in it. And of course now I couldn't check it for power or anything. The guy's like, yeah, fine, just take it, get it out of here. So I brought it home, and I had a parts motor. Put a light on here. And the it's a single cylinder Briggs 16 horse. This was the starter that was in it, and if you look at the top of it, you can see the top just kind of grenaded itself, and the Bendix was just going up and just locking up into the flywheel and binding up. There's a plastic cap that sits on here. It's around somewhere. There's another part of it right there. Anyway, long story short, put another starter on it and cranked it over, started right up, coughed and farted a little bit, just had to adjust the carb a little, got it running good, and I went over and plugged a grinder, I think it was, I plugged into it. Of course there was nothing. Like, you suck. Tried running an arc, the leads, it came with leads. Tried getting an arc going, nothing. Tried all different kind of combinations, max, low, high, up, down, AC, DC, nothing worked. And it's all right. I'm screwed. Pulled the cover off and went to go see if I had anything, you know, terminals or whatever the issue was that was bad. While I was looking around it, I discovered, I'll pop this light out of the way. You see right in there, light on it. There we go. The one slip ring that's there, you see this, got a hose clamp on it. The slip ring was literally off the engine, sitting off the spindle, sitting over by the engine where that space kind of shrinks down a little bit there, just kind of flapping around with a crack in it. Now, that definitely is going to make for no power. I did a Google search and kind of had this idea anyway, but apparently the parts aren't available for it anymore. A couple of people have actually had the same problem too, so it must be an inherent issue with them over time. They don't know if the cement just gets so hard that it causes so much pressure and it cracks the ring, and the ring ends up popping off. But my fix for it is what you see here. 2-part epoxy and a hose clamp, and soldered there's a little channel in it. See if I can get in there. In that globbering looking little mess there's a channel where a wire runs underneath to the second slip ring. So I lifted that up and went to go solder that on. Mind you, I already had it all epoxy, but the epoxy is a slow cure. And I tried to get that sucker to solder to that brass ring. It just wouldn't happen. So I had to pull it back off again. So it was hanging on the side there. and then I took it and I polished the side of it, and I was able to, at that time, tin the side of the ring to get some solder to stick to it. It was such a big heat sink it wouldn't stick. So I was able to tin about 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch of length of it, and cleaned everything up at acetone again. Cleaned all the epoxy back off. Put some new epoxy all the way back around it again, and slid it on with the epoxy, and then the hose clamp, clamped it down. Hit the soldering iron again to the wires. The wires, of course, had no problem getting solder to stick to them, but the ring, just I couldn't get to it here. But now I already had it tinned, so the two of them were able to get soldered together. JB Weld says if you're going to be in a cold climate, and it takes up to 15 hours or an overnight cure for it to cure, which is kind of actually good. It's what I want. To put a light on it and let the light just sit there and cure it for the nighttime. So that's why there's a light hanging here. So best to keep it off the gas tank might be a good thing. Of course, I won't get that sucker in there now. So that's where we are. We're going to let this thing sit. You can tell it's been dropped if you look at the gas tank. It's a nice profile to it. And the exhaust is squished on the side. But that motor that I showed you with the starter came off of has a good exhaust on it, so that'll be going on there. But it probably weighs about 800 pounds. The thing's heavy as hell. And it did come with the leads. I think here is I think there's about 50 feet of ground and 100 feet of the work wire. So tomorrow will be my telltale. If it comes back to life and works, I'm good to go. If not, I got some good leads and a motor. So I guess it's still kind of worth the $200 having a 16 horse Briggs motor. So stay tuned, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have a video of a startup on this thing and have it produce some power. Again, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. Thank you.